Hi guys, Kenneth here. I'm now going on live, and today I'm going to share with you this top 10 tips and preparation before running your paid online Zoom class. So I'm going to check whether my audio is good and can I be heard. So for those who are tuning in, watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And if you are watching this for the first time, maybe a short introduction about myself. I'm Kenneth Choo, author of Mother Industrialist, Perfecting the Balance Between Motherhood and Business Success. I empower mothers to be entrepreneurs. At the same time, I'm also running my own digital marketing agency for the past 5 years. So that's why I'm doing this presentation or this sharing about the top 10 tips and preparation before running your paid online Zoom classes. Okay, so meantime, while waiting for people to tune in, I'm tuning on to Facebook and see if my audio is good. I'll come back to you guys. So for those who are tuning in, do come in and say hi. Okay. Okay, I think my volume, there's a duplicate. Let's see. Okay, it looks good. Okay, I see people tuning in. Do let me know if you guys are running your own online Zoom classes. Yeah, do let me know. Okay, so waiting for a few more to come on board, and I will start this sharing very soon. Okay, so do let me know if my audio is good. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay, while I'm talking to you guys, let me share this screen with my other Facebook group so that the rest can be reached out. Okay, I see more and more people coming in, tuning in. Do let me know where you are from. Do say hi to me so that I can address to your concern if you're running any Zoom classes online, and what are your difficulties. You can post in the comment section. So let me just get into my Facebook and share it across to other platform. And if you have friends who are also tuning in, who are also doing their own online Zoom classes, you can let me know at the same time so that you can share it with them. Do give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. I see Roy coming in watching. So hi Roy. Okay, so and in another 2 minutes I will start because it will take Facebook Live some time for it to start running. So currently now I'm sharing in my various platform. Okay, I'm getting people to join me on Facebook Live, and I will start in another 1 more minute. Okay. So I see people coming in. Do let me know where you're tuning from, and are you running your own online Zoom classes? Are you facing any difficulties? If you are, you can let me know. Hi Kim, finally I see someone responded. Hello. And I will want to share like why am I running this. In fact, it's an impromptu sharing because in the past week or so I've attended a few online classes. Basically I signed my daughter up for the class, and I realized that a lot of the enrichment classes, a lot of people who are running their Zoom classes, even for those fitness therapy session, there are a lot of things that is lacking. And I want to share with you because I have also a lot of them have been consulting me and how to do a live stream, what are the things to get, what are the equipment to buy at this period of time. So I hope that with this sharing you will be able to get you have done a very good preparation before you go online, because the user experience is very, very important. If you started at the wrong footing, basically the user might not sign up for your next online class. So the key thing is what preparations do you need to have, what are the things you need to prepare before you even start. So like today's topic, it's very last minute, and today's topic is about the top 10 tips and preparation. So this is very last minute, so I have not have all the tips. These are what I have shared with a lot of people who are consulting me on running their online classes or live stream and stuff like that. So let me just send it to the group first, and I will come back to you guys. So for those who are tuning in, let me know if you maybe you say hi to me so that I can say hi to you. I know who are watching. And if you are running your online classes, you can let me know what are the challenges and difficulties. You can post in the comment section so that I can address them towards the end, or as I go through my slides. Maybe you can let me know. All right, so okay, one more to go. And thanks for those who are tuning in, still on. Okay, done. So today's topic, hi everyone, I'm Kenneth Choo, and you must be wondering, if let's say you're seeing me for the first time, you must be wondering like, why is this guy doing this sharing? A brief background about myself. I'm Kenneth Choo. I'm an author, speaker, and consultant. I'm author of this book called Mother Industrialist: Perfecting the Balance Between Motherhood and Business Success. And I've been empowering mothers to be entrepreneurs. I motivate and inspire mothers why they should be entrepreneurs. And at the same time, I also run my own digital marketing agency for the past 5 years. So I work with business owners, SMEs, solopreneur, even startup, on their social media marketing, digital marketing. And recently, because of the COVID, because of the circuit breaker, lockdown, a lot of businesses are not able to go online. They find a lot of challenges going online. And what I've observed is a lot of them are doing online classes, doing in Zoom, especially for tutors, teachers, even trainers. But I realize that there's a few things that they have not got it right before they prepare, and that's where I want to share. And it's kind of my way of giving back and to share how you can do a good and decent Zoom classes online. I hope this sharing will be able to help you. If you like it, you can give me a thumbs up, you can comment, let me know what challenges or what struggles are you having, any problems. So now I will get on to the class. Okay, so the table of content and what I'm going to share with you, these are the top 10 tips that I'm going to share with you. And number 1 is clear audio. Number 2, speak slowly. Number 3, speaker audio level. 4th, dry run through. 5, technical support. 6, virtual beta test of focus group. 7, ground rules. 8, roles. And 9, engagement management. And 10, internet speed test. So for those who are tuning in, you can do a screenshot of this. You have my permission to screenshot this so that you can refer back later. Okay, so number 1, I will go into okay, the number 1 thing that you need to do is, especially if you were to run a Zoom meeting, you need to have a clear audio. It's very frustrating as a user when I attend any Zoom meeting and the speakers is not giving me a good audio or clear audio, because I've just attended one online class with my daughter, and I realized that the trainer was we can't hear the trainer clearly, and when the trainer start to speak faster, a lot of the audio is being cut off. There's a lot of glitch, and it's not a very good experience. So I'm not saying that you need to buy a mic, but it will be good for you to invest in a good mic, and try not to use built-in mic or inbuilt mic, because most of the laptops, their mic are not meant for clear audio. It's just for a day-to-day conversation. But the quality of the audio determines how professional you are. And if you are running a business and your audio is not clear, for me as a consumer or someone who's paid for this class, I might felt that, hey, you are not professional enough, you can't even invest in a good mic. So that will put me off, especially for a consumer. And if let's say you are established brand and you are not investing in a good mic, or your audio is not clear, and I can't even hear what your trainer is talking about. Like if you can hear me now, I'm using a podcast mic, I invest in a good mic. Although I'm not holding any classes now, but it will be a good start. But even you are not buying a good podcast mic, you spend a few $100s, what you can do is use your earpiece, the earpiece that you have with your phone or with your smartphone. You can always you can always use this mic. You can always piece it, because it will eliminate all the noises, all the background sounds that your laptop is getting, because your laptop is just I would say a omnidirection mic that is built in, so it will capture a lot of noises all around, and it doesn't give people the good experience. So that is very, very, very important. And try not to use built-in mic. If you have a earpiece with a microphone, try to plug it in and test out the audio, because when you do your Zoom, there's always a portion that you can test your audio, and from there you will hear how your audio sound. From there, the quality of your audio is very, very important. Okay, so if you for those who are tuning on live, do let me know. Type in 1 if you have gotten what I've shared over here in slide 1. In the tip 1, number 1 tip is to have a clear audio. It's very, very important, because without a clear audio over the internet, over Zoom, over the video call, I can't even hear what you're saying. So eventually I will be drifted off. And if you're running classes for children, the most important thing is they have to hear what you're saying. You have to be able to engage them with your audio. If they can't even hear what you're talking about, it's really, really, really hard for them to stay focused. Okay, so that is very important. So if you guys get it, do type 1 in the comment section so that I know, and I'll move on to the next one. If you have any question about the mic, which mic to get, you can always also post in the comment section so that I'm aware of it, and I will recommend you what are the mics that you can invest in. Okay, so I'll move on to tip number 2. When you are going online, you have to speak slower. Why? Because of the audio bitrate. It's not like you are doing a live workshop. You can speak as fast, people still can catch, because there's no glitch, there's no pauses inside. So you have to speak slower. And if you can see that I'm using a lot of energy, it requires a lot of energy because you're doing a video call. So you have to speak slower. If you speak at the normal speed, it may not be transmitted clearly to your receiver or your user or your students. So you have to speak slower. And if let's say your internet connection is not fast enough, they might have missed a huge part of it. So it's always good to speak slower, because when you speak too fast, your speech may be muffled or inaudible, which will affect the viewer experience. The key thing is to be professional. You have to give them a very good experience, especially the audio, because they are at home. They have to hear clearly what you are saying. So if for those who are tuning online on Facebook Live, do let me know if this is very important, like the audio when you're learning from home or when you're communicating at home. Okay, so this is tip number 2: speak slower. Okay, because of the audio bit rate, because now our voice is not just projected through sound wave, it's through data, that means whatever that my sound wave is going through the mic, through the wires, through the internet, and to the user. So it's very important for you to speak slower. Okay, good. Okay, if it's clear, just type number 2 and I'll move on to the next slide. If you have any question along the way, you can always pop the question, because I'm looking at my Facebook Live at the site and I will answer your question later on. Alright, okay, so moving on. Okay, tip number 3 is the speaker audio level. So in fact, I've shared with one of the mompreneurs on this about the speaker audio level. It's very important, because let's do a test now. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Am I too loud? Am I too soft? Whatever. So let's do a check now. Okay, at the same time, I'm also okay, now I'm checking. Okay, when I talk about the audio level, imagine if, let's say, I set my let me set my volume at mid level. If mid level I still can't even hear you on my speaker, it means that your audio is not good enough, it's not clear enough. So do a sound check, be it on Facebook Live, be it on Zoom, because sometimes when especially for those who are using the inbuilt mic of your laptop, the distance between you and the mic, or maybe you are having a very old laptop, the mic is not working as good, or maybe at the same time, because you are turning on the speaker, your speaker is connected with the laptop, there's vibration. So whatever that you say, right, it may be cut off because of the interference of your speaker. That means your inbuilt speaker and your inbuilt mic. So that's why sometimes we cannot hear the speaker clearly. Yeah, it's not clear, it's very muffled because of the interference within the inbuilt mic and inbuilt speaker from your laptop. So try not to use your inbuilt mic and do a sound check. Get someone, if let's say you're doing a Zoom, get someone to listen to you on the other side. Whether are you too loud, are you too soft? So for those who are tuning in, let me know if I'm too loud or I'm too soft. So do a sound check, because if the speaker can be heard clearly before the live, that would be good. So it's also an indicative measure that you can do, so that when you go into live actual thing, and if your Zoom meeting or your Zoom classes is paid, you want to give your consumer a good experience. They want to hear you clearly. Like example, the Zoom class that my daughter attended, I can't even hear the trainer clearly. There are 2 trainers, and one of the trainers is too soft, I can't even hear what she's saying. The other trainer is too loud, and what my daughter has to do is, when the softer speaker speak, she has to turn the volume up, and when the other speaker and when the other speakers come on, when the next speaker speaks, which is louder, she has to lower down the volume, and that creates a lot of unnecessary distraction. And this is where the experience is bad. I would say it's not a pleasant experience, because it's not being addressed earlier. There's no consistency. So when I talk about the speaker audio level, you need to check. If let's say you have more than one speaker that is speaking, try to align their volume, their audio level. So this is a very good check that you can do. Okay. Hi, I see Haas tuning in. I see Shirley. I see Crystal. Thank you for tuning in. If you have missed the first 2 tips, you can watch the replay later on. So now, if you have any question on tip number 3, let me know in the comment section. And at the same time, if you have no question, if you want me to move on, you just type trim in the comment, and I'll move on to the next slide. All right. Okay, so I've just illustrate to you what is the experience like if, let's say, you have more than 1 speakers in the Zoom call or the Zoom class. It's best to align their audio, because if, let's say, one of them, they are using a very good mic, the other one is not using a good mic, the level is there's a difference in level. And imagine my daughter has to lower down the volume when the speaker with a better audio is too loud, and the one with a softer audio, she has to turn up the volume. So there's a lot of unnecessary technical measure that we have to do as a user, so that doesn't give the user a pleasant experience. Okay, so I'm going to move on to tip number 4. Okay, tip number 4, this is something that I have shared with one of an entrepreneur, one of my mentee, and she wanted to do her first virtual class online, and she was asking me that whether should she run a test. I said it's best if you can run a test. If, let's say, your class, you wanted to run a paid class, it's good for you to do a rehearsal before going on live and do all the necessary things like test the features of Zoom, like the share screen, like the breakout rooms, and all this stuff. Because I realized that if you want to do a paid Zoom meeting or Zoom class or a virtual event using Zoom, and your consumer is paying for it, you want to make sure that you know all the features in Zoom, and also who is going to share the screen, and not just on the spot going on live and trying to figure things out. That doesn't give the user a good experience, especially if you're running a class for children, enrichment classes, and they will drift off, because, as you know, children attention span is very short. If you can't engage them and you are doing a lot of unnecessary testing in here, like who's going to share the screen, who's going to do the breakout rooms, and what if the breakout rooms there's an error, so that will reduce the user experience. Yeah, so it's best for you to rehearse before going on live, test the features, the share screen. And if, let's say, you are doing it alone, all you need to do is have another device that you can share screen. Either you use your phone as the camera, as the main camera showing you your face, and you have another device that is logging in at the same time, that you allow the share screen to share whatever is there. Okay, that is very, very important. So do a dry run, through. Hi Potter, hi, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. So let me know if you have any questions regarding running Zoom classes online and how to run it successfully. So now is tip number 4. If you have missed the other tips, you can watch the replay later. And tip number 4 is to do a rehearsal before you go on live. I've seen classes, I paid for enrichment classes, I paid for classes that are not run professionally, meaning that they have not done a rehearsal, they have not tested the features, they are doing it on the spot. It seems so unprofessional. So that, pardon me for this ranting, but I see it's not that, I guess it's because everybody is trying it for the first time, but why not test it? Why not do a dry run before it, so that you have a good, you can give your clients, your consumers, your paid consumers a better experience. Do a run through. If you have a team of people that is inside this Zoom class, do a dry run, rehearse. Everybody needs to know their role, and that will bring me to the next point. And for those who are tuning in, do let me know if you have any question on tip number 4, which is the dry run through, do comment in the comment section. Let me know what question. If you have any question, I will address it at the end of this sharing, because I just want to make it smooth. Yeah, thanks Potter, thank you. Yes, it's very useful, and it's very last minute, because I guess I have this certain frustration that I feel that because I do not know what they do not know, and now going through, and I see there's a common mistake that people who are running their Zoom online, they are not having, and I know that some of you are going to, and you do not know how to start. I hope that all these 10 tips will help you to start your Zoom classes successfully, or I would say to reduce the risk. So if you guys are clear on tip number 4, you can type number 4 so that I will move on to the next slide. All right. Okay, the next tip number 5. Okay, technical support. I realized that a lot of facilitator or the organizers of online classes, or maybe the solopreneur is running it, they are not very well versed with the technical support. So if you can, because if you are the speaker, you are not able to handle the technical side or support those who have technical difficulties, or they are not tech savvy enough, to assign someone to be handling the technical, and also maybe be the moderator. Why is it necessary? Because the technical person will be the host, and the host will be able to control the features at the back end, like when to mute, when to unmute, or when to do the breakout room, or handle the technical inquiries at the back end, so that the speaker will not be interrupted. Okay, this person is very important to ensure the flow, the whole class is running smoothly. So if it's possible, assign someone to be handling the technical and being the moderator role, or you can have a separate person to be the moderator, because this is very important. Because I've seen a lot of classes, especially when you have a huge class like 50, it's very hard to handle. And if the audiences or the students are children, you need a moderator even more, because the moderator have to control who's speaking, who's not speaking, who's speaking at that point, who's speaking at this part, who's not speaking at this, and which is the next speaker going to come up. So this moderator role is very important, and this moderator has to know some of the technical stuff to operate the features. So this is very important. If you do not have, I suggest that you learn how to use the features of Zoom and be good with it. And your best teacher is YouTube. You can always search like how to moderate the room, or how to handle the features of Zoom, or learn the features of Zoom. Everything is on YouTube. YouTube is your best teacher. All right, so this is tip number 5. If you are clear on tip number 5, do type 5 in the comment section, and I'll move on to the next. All right. Okay, so the next tip, moving on, is tip number 6. Virtual beta test or focus group. Okay, this is something that I came out that I've advised one of my friend who's going on Zoom to hold her class, and I asked her that why not you run a beta class with your focus group. And when I say beta class, is especially for those who wants to charge for your class, and this is your first time going online, because it's more than just running the class. You may be the facilitator, or you may be the one that's speaking, or the trainer, but you only know your stuff. But how about the technical aspect? How about running it online? You need to run a beta class to really find out what are the possible problems that you will face. Maybe the engagement, maybe because let's say you're doing yoga, your audiences cannot hear you, but you still continue to do do your continue with your class without knowing that in fact your viewers or your students, they cannot see you properly, they can't hear you properly, and that's where you need to square out all this stuff. And this also acts as a simulation to the real virtual class, to find out all the glitches, all the possibility that will happen during the live class. So this will give you a better feel of it, that what will happen. And why would I say a focus group? A focus group will be, maybe you can get a group of friends who are in the same demographic of your audience. So let's say you are targeting at parents. So maybe you get a group of maybe 5 to really hold this beta class, to really get feedback from them. Like how is the class, and how is the experience, and how can it be better. Yeah, so this is very, very important. And I feel that it's good for you to have all this feedback so that you can do a better live class, virtual live class. It's very, very important to get feedbacks. And the focus group, they have to be the demographic. If let's say you're targeting at parents, or you're targeting at women 30s to 40s, you need to have that. And I believe that your friends will be more than glad to help you to form this focus group. And all these friends can give you real feedback as a consumer, especially when I'm paying someone to teach me online, to go on the online class. And the best thing for this beta class is it can act as your marketing material. Like doing a screenshot of this class and say, okay, we're going to run this class and stuff like that. It will be a very good marketing tool. It's showing people or your prospect or your potential clients that you know your stuff. You're running a successful class. You have run classes and not like the first class. So this beta class is I would say a very good tip for you to square out all the possible glitches, because if it's a focus group, the best thing, you're not charging them. You cannot charge them to have this, because you are investing in them to get real feedback of your class before you run it professionally and a paid class. Okay, so if you like tip number 6, do type number 6 in the comment section, and I'll move on to the next tip. Okay, so personally I like this, and I felt that if you are running a paid class, or you are a company or business that you've been running for many years, but you're doing it live, but you have not done it online, it's best for you to do this beta class to really test out and to see what are the things that is lacking, and you make it better before you get your customer to pay you for this. Because when their first experience, when they pay you and the experience they are getting is not good, the reviews is going to be bad. All right, okay, personally I like this tip number 6, is to run a beta class with your focus group, which is your target audience, that can give you genuine feedback. So this is very, very important. Okay, I see people tuning in. Do let me know, comment and let me know where you are tuning in from. All right, okay, so if you like this, you have no question for this, do type number 6 and in the comment section, and I'll move on to the next tip. All right, okay, tip number 7. This is something that I've seen not many people are doing, not many speaker hosts are doing this, is to set the ground rules before the class start. Okay, why is this ground rules very important? Because if you are conducting the class online, you are not able to control their environment. So that's where you need to have the ground rules to ensure everybody is under control. That also to give people a good learning experience. Example, you can set rules like, oh, I appreciate that everybody put in your 100% commitment, focus. If let's say in between we're having a break, be punctual to come back, maybe for a toilet break or drink maybe just a 15 minutes break and stuff like that. If let's say you're running a full day class, do have that and also let them know when is the break time, okay, so that they can be focused and they know that, okay, maybe in another 10 minutes there will be another break time. So do let them know in advance. All right, and also to tell them that if let's say you're not speaking, do appreciate that they mute their audio. If let's say your moderator miss out on that, or maybe you wanted them to speak up and they've forgotten to mute it, so do let them know that, do mute themselves when they're not speaking to prevent any distraction in the midst of the class or the session. All right, and also for them to turn off their mobile phone, because you can't control the environment. It's best for you to let them know that in advance, turn off their mobile. Why? And the reason why is because you want them to focus on the trainer, focus on the speaker, to really make the money worth, especially if it's a paid class, paid virtual class. All right, and for those who are using laptop, try not to open too many applications. If it's possible, close other application, so that the streaming, the live experience, the connection is there. All right, okay, so this is tip number 7, which I find that not every speakers, trainers are doing that, are putting out these ground rules. You cannot expect your viewers, your attendees to abide to your by right rule. You cannot assume. So it's best for you to lay out all these ground rules that everybody is on the same level, is on the same page. I would say that. Yeah. Okay. So if you like tip number 7, just type number 7 and I'll move on to the next slide. All right. Okay, if for those who are tuning in live, do let me know if you have any question. You can always post a question. I will get back to you at the end of the sharing. All right, so I'm moving on to tip number 8. Okay, so tip number 8, if let's say you are a business, you have staff, you have people that is helping you with your virtual class, it's best to set roles in the virtual class to prevent chaos, because I've seen a lot of chaos. There's no moderator. Everybody is trying to speak, especially if you are running a class with children. You need someone to moderate, like okay, who's going to speak first, who's going to unmute. That's why the ground rules is very important, especially when you come out with, hi Norman, hi, thank you for watching, hi. So coming back is to set roles in the virtual class to prevent chaos, because if there's no one to control, especially if you need to assign roles, like who's the trainer, who's the speaker, who's going to speak first. That's why the run through is very important, to see who's going to speak first and who's going to be speaking later, and when is the moderator coming in to speak. So the moderator basically moderate the discipline, I would say the discipline and the flow of the whole virtual class, the experience. The moderator has to be there. So let's say I'm the moderator and maybe Ryan is speaking. I will say, hey Ryan, you have someone has spoken, maybe you want to address the question, someone in the chat, because if let's say you're running a class of 50, you might not be able to see all the students in one screen, because they may be spread out in 2 screens. So the moderator role is to look through and see that if the speaker have missed out on any student or any of the audience that is tuning in, that if they have questions you may have missed out. The moderator role is to screen through and really let the speaker know, maybe to interrupt the speaker, to let them know that, hey Ryan, you someone wanted to ask a question, could you address to that. So it's good because the audience or the student may be appreciative that you are attentive. Yeah, it's like you running a live event where you get to see the person, that whether they are putting up their hands, do you address them, and if let's say you didn't address them and they've been holding up their hands for so long in front of the screen as you have not seen as a speaker, it also shows that you're not professional enough, you're not taking note of them, and furthermore, if it's a paid event, paid virtual class, the more you should pay attention on that. Yeah, so that's where the ground rules is very important. In fact, the first 7 rules basically helps in this roles, this tip number 8. All right, so which is to set roles in the virtual class, that you must assign role like who's the trainer, who's the speaker, who's the moderator, and who's the tech person if you have more people. And if someone is going to do the slide sharing, if it's not the speaker, you have to set the roles properly. All right. Hi Michelle, hi, thank you. Hi Vivian, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm already coming to almost the last 2 tips. If you have missed the previous 7, you can always watch a replay later. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding about running a virtual class using Zoom, you can always post in the comment section, and I will address it at the end of my sharing. Yeah, so okay, let me see. Okay, so coming back, and it's very, very important to have different roles in the virtual class. If you have a team of people that you can engage, is also very important. Hi Olsen, hi, thank you, hi, long time no see. Okay, so if you have a team of people, it's best to assign roles, like who's going to be a main speaker, who's going to be a second speakers, who's going to be the moderators, to manage the flow of the virtual class, and who is the one that is taking part of the tech support, meaning that if let's say someone got disconnected, and who's the tech person that is allowing them to come back to log on, because now with Zoom needs a password, and they need to allow the participants to go into the room, the Zoom room. Yep, so you need someone to do that. And for the slide sharer, if let's say it's not a speaker, is managed by another person, you need to have the run through, which is mentioned in one of the previous tips, to really rehearse that. Not like, okay, Ryan, can you just move to the next slide? It's very disturbing if you have like a lot of slide and you're telling the slide sharer to keep on, or can you, it's very disturbing, and it's not giving the user or the viewer a very good experience. All right. Okay, so if you like tip number 8, okay, do type number 8 in the comment section, and I will move on to the next tip. Okay, so meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, you can always let me know, tune in, and I will address it later on. Yeah. Okay, moving on to tip number 9. Okay, so this is something that I realized that from the Zoom classes I attended, that I've signed my daughter up, I realized that the engagement management is very important. Tip number 9. Okay, engagement management. Because when you are not seeing face to face in real life and over the computer, it's only a limited scene, the screen. And if you're running a class with a lot of students, participants, or consumers, you need to engage them even more, using more visuals or tools to keep the energy and the user engaged. So for example, you may be doing, say, hey, let's do a high five to the screen, or maybe let's do a heart shape. So you need to engage them and make sure that their videos are on, so that you can have that interaction with them. And also you have to learn how to use the features on Zoom, meaning that, example, if you are speaking, you can ask everyone to pin your video. Okay, pin your video so that you'll be the main person, or at the back end you can do that to pin the videos. Okay, so that everybody is seeing one person speaking, especially the speakers. Okay, so that is very, very, very important to really use visuals and tools. So you can use worksheet, that means to send them in advance before the class, so that they have something to refer and work on. Okay, and also if you are be it whether is it adults or children, you can use Kahoot, which is basically you can put in games, use it for quizzes, and it's very good for icebreaker. Basically get their energy up by having a competition or contest or quizzes that is related to what you are teaching, so that everybody is engaged, everybody's attention is on you, on the class. Okay, and maybe you can run like whoever won it, they will get certain prizes and stuff like that. Even for adults, if you're running a class for adults, it's very, very important. And using tools like that, you will help you to keep the energy level high and also the user engagement. You have that as a tool. And I would suggest that because if you are so used to doing large group of audience, like maybe 50, 100, but when you're doing it online, it's really hard to keep the energy level, which I would suggest that reduce the class size to a size that you can manage. The most you run it frequently, because why we love, like for speakers like us, we love to speak to a lot of people because of the venue. Maybe let's say we are renting the hotel function room, and because we have paid for usage, we try to fill the room as much. But if you're doing online, you don't have to. Your cost is just maybe the Zoom webinar or the Zoom subscription, which is very minimal, as per month. So you can run as many of small classes, so that if your topic or your class, you need to engage them, you need them to have their participation, it's best to reduce the class size rather than running 50, 100, and the user experience is not good at all. Yeah, so this is very, very important, I realize. So don't try to go too big of a class if you cannot manage, especially if your screen you can only see 25 in one Zoom screen, or you may want to have another monitor to monitor another group of 25 within the Zoom. Yeah, because it's very important for you to engage with each and every one of your participants, to really engage with them, to see their movement and all that stuff. All right, okay, if you like tip number 9, okay, do comment in the comment section, do type 9. Okay, so I hope that you guys liked all these tips. So far so good. And if you like tip number 9, okay, do comment 9 in the comment section, so that I know that you are tuning in and you are learning. Thank you very much. Or you can give me a thumbs up or some hearts if you like what I've been sharing. Hi Imran, thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching, tuning in. Yeah, so I'm almost coming to the end. Tip number 9. Okay, so I will come back and moving on. The last tip. Okay, the last tip, which is this. This is something that recently I've learned from one of my friends, because I'm so used to do live streaming, and some of my stream were lagging. So he was suggesting, hey Kenneth, have you done this internet speed test? Okay, so you can go to www.speedtest.net, or you can just go to Google and type speed test. You will be able to check your internet speed, like how many megapixels per second is running. So you can check on that, because if your internet speed is not fast enough, it will affect your streaming, be it on Zoom, and also affect the user learning experience. Because I've seen Zoom classes by the trainer, and the video quality is not there because of the streaming. It's not because of the camera, because they are not having maybe a high speed internet access, or they are using Wi-Fi and they are very far away from the Wi-Fi. And if you're running classes on your laptop, on your desktop, they're using Wi-Fi, it's best for you to check your internet speed. and also at the same time for you to check if anyone in your family is using intensively the connection, the broadband, because it will really affect. So that is also very important, is to check your internet speed test, to do a speed test on your internet connection. Okay, so it looks something like that. So this is a speed test I've done from my room away from my Wi-Fi. Okay, so when you go to speedtest.net, you type go, it will show you this. So this is the download speed and this is the upload speed. Okay, so upload speed will be the speed that is your streaming speed. Okay, although a lot of us, like for me, I've subscribed for 5 GB, but it don't really run at 5 GB. At the same time, I'm not the only one that is using the internet. My daughter is using the internet, my wife is using the internet, so it's being shared. And if I'm using Wi-Fi, the distance, the flow, the connection will differ, and whether can it reach me. Yeah, so this is very important. So to check this, and it's best if you can use cable to ensure that the speed is not being lost in the Wi-Fi. All right. Okay, so this is tip number, in fact it's number 10. Yeah, I've not changed the, yeah, number 10. Okay, so you have tip number 10 is to check your internet speed. Okay, so far so good. If you guys are liking it, do give me do type 10 or give me a thumbs up or heart, so to let me know that you guys are still tuning in, you guys like what you have learned, what I have shared. So do let me know. Okay, so if you have any questions, do let me know and I will address your question at the end. We're almost coming to the end of the sharing, so do let me know if you have any questions or any challenge or any technical stuff, or if you are shy, you can always PM me later at the end of this sharing. Yeah, so let me just check. Okay, so I've been speaking for about 15 minutes. Do let me know if you have any questions, especially for those who are tuning in. Yeah, so let me just try these features. Okay, any questions? Okay, I do not know whether you guys can see this. I've just posted a questions using Facebook Live Producer. Yeah, so for point 10, how do we look out for? Okay, thanks Kim for the question. You can go to Google. You can go to Google and let me know. Okay, let me just put it to the last slide for the Q&A. Okay, any questions? So just type in the comment section, or if you guys can see if there's a pop-up. Okay, just trying this function. Okay, so for point 10, right, what do we look out for? You have to see your speed. You have to test. Let's say if you are using your phone, you can go around the house to see which is the best spot, because the speed will varies, and it will varies at certain time. So it's good for you to see it. Like example, right? Let me just share with you. Like if let's say I don't think you. Okay, so there's a pop-up. If you have any question, you can post it. Post it in the Facebook where there's a pop-up. Any questions, you can key in your question over there. Testing out this. Okay, so for, let me see. Okay, so let me do a live demo, since Kim asked about that. Okay, so for example, let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, you can see my screen, right? Okay, so my screen here, this is the speed test. So this is the test that I've done. So you can go there and just type go. Okay, so it's running and you can see the speed. So just now I opened my door when I was doing the testing, and now my door is closed. So most likely the stream will be affected. Okay, so you can see over here the stream is download is 51 megabyte per second. Okay, so this is the speed that will be affecting your streaming. Okay. Okay, so my upload, right, in fact, right, based on my previous slide, right. Okay, my previous slide is 98. Okay, let me just. Okay, based on my previous slide is 98, but now is 51 download, and also upload is 70. It means that it's slower now. So it's best for you to do the test. Like if I open the door, the stream will be better because I'm using Wi-Fi. So this is something that you can test, especially at this different part. If let's say I'm very near to the Wi-Fi, most likely the connection will be on near to the router, the connection will be higher. So this will be a very good tip for you to test out your speed, because this is also to ensure not much glitches. Okay, so okay, good. Kim, have I answered your question? So you can do this test. If you have any more questions, you can always connect with me privately. So any questions that there's a pop-up, you guys can take a look at it and respond to it. Okay. So I see more people tuning in. Let me know where you're from. So let me just do a recap, right? Okay, let me do a recap. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me do a recap. Okay. Okay, so the recap of what I've shared, the top 10 tips, okay, of running a Zoom class, virtual class, which is number 1, you must have clear audio. If you can, invest in a very good mic. If not, use your existing earpiece. Don't use your built-in mic. Okay, so use something like that, your earpiece with a mic, and test it out. Because before you log in onto Facebook, right, wait, let me just put it out. Okay, so you guys are not seeing the full screen. Are you guys seeing the full screen? Sorry about that. I did something and now it can't. Okay, I know why. Okay, yeah, so going through the top 10 tips is to have a clear audio. Okay, invest in a good mic, and also try not to use built-in mic. The best is if you can use your earpiece mic. For those who are using your smartphone, you can use your earpiece mic that comes with a microphone. You can use that to so that you have clearer audio. Okay, then tip number 2 is to speak slower because of the audio bitrate. Because now when you are not speaking face to face, so the sound wave that you're projecting is not going to our ears. In fact, it's going through the mic, going into the mic, and through the wires, through the connection, and goes into your audience ears through their speakers. So if you're speaking too fast and your internet speed is not fast enough, there might be some glitches, and your speech might be muffled or inaudible, which will affect the viewer experience. All right. And also tip number 3 is to do a sound check. A lot of times I see a lot of people who are doing live classes, virtual classes on Zoom. They are not aware about their audio. It means when the speaker is speaking, they are not aware that they are too soft. They need to be closer to the mic, or they need to be further from the mic. They did not do a sound check, and that's why the user, the viewer experience will not be as good. Because if I can't hear you, basically I'm just watching a black and white video with no sound, because I can't hear you. If I can't hear you clear, it also shows that that you're not professional enough, that I can't even hear clearly, and you have to speak slower so that the audio can be captured. Alright, so it's best for you to do a sound check with a speaker or third party to see if the speaker can be heard clearly. Is it too loud, too soft, or not clear? Or maybe if they're using the inbuilt mic, the inbuilt mic is not good enough, they need to use their earpiece mic. Okay, tip number 4 is to do a dry run through, rehearse before going live. This is very important because you do not want to show your paid customers the glitches, the unprofessional, you guys are not prepared, not ready. The people in the room or the staff or the roles, they do not know what roles they are playing. So it's best for them to rehearse before going on live. At least 30 minutes before the class start, you need to rehearse. Do a dry run through with all the people that is in the role, the moderator, the tech person, the slide sharer, and all that stuff. So, and also to test the features of Zoom, because just now we have just attended one Zoom class with my daughter, and they were doing the breakout room, and my daughter was locked out. There was an error for the Zoom breakout room, and when we tried to log in, we couldn't log in because it could be because no one is aware that they are trying to log in, and not everyone successfully went into the breakout room. Yeah, so there was some problem with it. So that is where you need to rehearse and make sure that you test out all the features, the share screen, who's going to share, who's not going to share, who's doing the breakout room, and all that stuff to square it out. All right, so this is tip number 4. And also tip number 5 is to provide a certain technical support, like assign someone to be handling the technical or being the moderator role, because you need that someone other than the speakers to handle the technical and someone to moderate the class to ensure that the class runs smoothly. All right, okay, so tip number 6, which is my favorite, which is to run a beta class with your focus group that can give genuine feedback. Because this is very important. If you are asking your consumer or your customers, or you are bringing your paid classes online virtually, you need to run a beta class to really see what are the glitches, what are the possibilities that will happen during the live class. And this, you can run a beta class with a small group. If let's say you are running for 10, you can do a 5, maybe your royal customer or within your friends, or the focus group that is within your friends, that is your customer base or your customer profile or demographic. You can get them to run this class and ask them to share feedback or suggestion, what can be better for the class before you run your live paid classes. All right, okay, this is tip number 6, my favorite. And also tip number 7, which is to set ground rules. I don't see a lot of speakers, trainers, or people who are holding Zoom classes. They are doing these ground rules. The ground rules have to be set before you even start the class. This is to get everybody on the same page. Example, to get them, telling them that would appreciate them to have 100% commitment, be punctual if there's any break time in between, and when is the break time coming. And also to let them know that we'll appreciate that if they are not speaking, can they mute themselves so that everybody can have a clear audio, can be more attentive, can focus in the class. And also get them to turn off their mobile to prevent any unnecessary distraction so that they can be fully committed and learn from the class. At the same time, also to close other application. If they are not using, if it's not required in the class, ask them to close other application, because other application will eat into the internet speed. Okay, all of these that you are implementing in the ground rule, it has to help them to stay focused, stay attentive, and to have their 100% commitment. All right. Okay, this is tip number 7. And tip number 8 is to assign roles, to have different roles, like who is going to be the one speaking, because I see a lot of times the one that is not a speaker speak a lot, and it basically interrupted the speaker. So if the speaker is to speak, let the speaker speak. And when is the role of the moderator coming in? All right. And who's going to be the tech support? Someone who is very well versed with the tech, with Zoom features, the one that is going to be the host, the one is going to allow people to tune in and all that stuff. Hi Crystal, thank you for tuning in. I hope you like. If you have missed out a lot, you can always watch a replay. All right. So if you have any question about running Zoom live, especially Crystal, if you are going to do this, top 10 tips will help really a lot. So yeah. So tip number 8, which is to set roles, like the trainer role, the speaker role, the moderator, the tech, or someone who's doing the slide. If it's not by the speaker, and if the speaker is the one that share, I would advise that the speaker would have a separate gadget that is logging in to Zoom to do the screen share, so that it will not, how should I put it, if let's say their main laptop, their screening, the video is down or is hang, at least there's another computer that is doing the sharing. Because normally when I see the screen sharing, right, it requires a lot of memory and also stream and broadband, so that might interrupt and might cause some technical error. So it's best to have separate devices that is streaming into Zoom. Imagine, example, I can use my iPad to do the slides, then I can use my laptop as a screen. All right, so this is very good tip for a lot. Hi Jocelyn, thank you for tuning in. Let me know, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear and like what you have seen. Okay, so tip number 9 is the engagement management, is to use more visual, the tools to keep the energy and user engaged. Because I realized that a lot of times, a lot of speakers, trainer, they jump straight into the class. They are not having that rah-rah that build up the energy. And why do you need that? Because everybody is on their computer. There's a lot of other distraction is around them. Maybe the mom is cooking, the son is playing, and all that stuff is all around. So it's best for you to engage them to get their attention, especially in the beginning. You can use tools like Kahoot to run some quizzes regarding about your class, the workshop that you're running, so that you're getting everyone on the same page. And you can even send them worksheet in advance that they can do, and when they come on board, they can share with you what they have written or what they have done, like exercises they can do that you need to know. So you can do that, and also introduce some icebreaker, because everybody is coming as new and you need them to pay attention at you. You need them to get engaged with you. So you can do ice-breaking things, like getting everybody to share one secret of theirs, or one reason why they are coming on to this Zoom call or Zoom meeting. Okay, and the other advice is to reduce the class size, because I see a lot of people trying to manage a huge size, but there's no engagement. Everybody can't play a part. If let's say you are running a workshop, you're running an interactive, there's some worksheet or work to be done during this class, you need to be able to have in control. Because I realized that a lot of trainer speakers, the maximum they have maybe like 20 to 25 in one screen, and in Zoom you have to go to the next screen to see another 25. So you might not be able to see everybody who have questions, or they raise hand. You might miss out on them, and that might not give them a very good experience. So this is very important. Try to use more visuals or tools to keep the energy and user engagement there. All right, so this is tip number 5. And the last tip which I've shared just now is the internet speed test. So you can check. This is something that I've learned recently, to ensure that my streaming, everything is to speed, is to go to www.speedtest.net, because if your speed, your Wi-Fi, your broadband is not fast enough, depending on where you are tuning in. Hi Sue, hi, hello. Where you're tuning in is very important for you to check. Like example, just now I did a test. You can watch the replay. I did a test, like I'm now in my room. I did a test with my door open and with my door closes. There's at least 40 megabyte per second that is lost after I close the door. Yeah, so this is very important. If you are using Wi-Fi, it's best to check which part of your house has the best connection, or if not, use the cable, use the internet cable. That will ensure that you don't lose out any internet speed. All right, so this is tip number 10. So far I've run through all the top 10. So this is how it looks like when you do the speed test. So this will show your download speed, upload speed. So very much your streaming will be the upload speed. All right, okay, any questions, any last question before I end off this sharing? Do post in the comment section, and let me see if I can post the. Okay, so you might be seeing a pop-up on your screen. Any questions? So if you have any questions, do let me know and I will address to it. Okay, can you post in the comment section, and maybe I will share a bit like why I'm doing this, because I've seen a lot of attended and seen a lot of people doing live, but they are missing out a lot of things, especially the audio, especially the technical aspect, basically the moderating of the chat or even the session. So that's why I'm coming on to share on this about what are the top 10 tips to help you to prepare before you start your Zoom live classes, especially it's paid. This is very important, and I hope that you guys like what I've shared. If you like what I've shared, you can give me a thumbs up, and also let me know what is your biggest takeaway. All right, so what is your biggest takeaway? Let me just key into that. Okay, let me add a question. Share with me what is your biggest take away. Okay, so I will be publishing this. You should be able to see this pop out. Okay, if you are looking at the screen, you can look at the icon that is next to your write a comment. There's a button that you can answer to the live question. Okay, so any questions? Okay, so you guys can see. Okay, any pop-up? So it take a while because of the lag in Facebook Live. So I thank those that have tuned in to now. It has been an hour plus. So share with me what is your biggest takeaway. All right. Okay. So let me know and I will respond to that. If not, I will end off in another 2 minutes time. And yep, thanks to those who are tuning in. I hope you guys like what I have shared. Okay, let me just get my screen. Okay. Okay, so I'm back here with the full screen. I thank all of you for tuning in. If you have any question, you still can let me know by commenting in the comment section. I would love to answer your questions. If not, that's all for today. If you have anything that you want me to share on my Facebook Live, do let me know in the comment section also, or you can PM me what are the things. And if I feel that this is something that a lot of people are asking, I can always do a Facebook Live to share with all of you. These are all my, how should I put it, like what I've done for others, especially if you have personal questions or inquiries, you need some advice, you can always private message me, or if you have my number, you can WhatsApp me, and I most likely will do a call to really understand how I can help you, how I can advise you. If it's anything on digital adoption, you can always connect with me. I will do my best, because I know that it's not easy for everyone to run their business at this point. And if you need any help, need any advice, if you want to run live stream, or you want to bring your business online or digitize it, you can always reach out to me. I will do my best, try my best to help you in any ways, because I know that now it's a difficult time for a lot of business owners, or if you're a solopreneur or you're self-employed, you want to keep your business going, you can always reach out to me. This is something that I feel that I could do for everyone. And that's all for today. So if there's no more questions, I will end off this live stream. I hope and wish everybody great health, and also great wealth and happiness always. Stay safe, stay healthy, and Kenneth here signing off. I will see you guys in my next Facebook Live. See you and take care. Bye.